Today, we're diving into the story of Virat Kohli, a cricketer whose journey is just this incredible mix of pure passion, raw intensity, and an ambition that is just absolutely relentless. You know that feeling you get in sports? When a certain athlete steps onto the field or the court and the entire energy in the stadium it changes? The air gets a little thicker, the crowd gets a little louder, and you can feel every single person lean in. Well, that's what happens when Virat Kohli walks out to bat. I mean, that's not something you just get overnight. It's an aura that's been built over years and years of sheer dominance and unforgettable moments. So let's break down how a talented kid from Delhi grew up to become one of the most commanding figures in the world of cricket.
All right, so to really get the man, you've got to first understand the legend he's already become.
But, every legend has an origin story. And for Virat Kohli, that story starts right on the cricket grounds of Delhi. This right here, this really gets to the heart of who he is, even from the very beginning. From the time he was just 9 years old at his academy, there was something different about him. His coaches all said the same thing. While all the other kids saw cricket as a fun game, for Kohli, it was a mission. He was obsessed, just relentlessly working on his game, his technique, his fitness, long after everyone else had packed up and gone home. And that kind of mission-driven focus, well, it fueled a rise that was nothing short of meteoric. Think about it. He joins the academy at 9. Less than 10 years later, in 2008, he captains India to a U19 World Cup victory and then makes his debut for the senior national team in the exact same year. And then just 3 years later, by 2011, he's a World Cup winner. The speed of that ascent is just astonishing. But look, being a young prodigy is one thing. Becoming an all-time great, that's a whole other level. And this next phase of his career is where absolutely everything changed. So pretty early on, he earned this incredible nickname, the Chase Master. And why? Because when the pressure was cranked up to the absolute maximum, when India was chasing a massive score, that's when he was at his best. He wasn't just there to score runs. He was there to control the game, to dominate the outcome. His talent on the field was undeniable. But behind the scenes, a personal revolution was starting to take shape. And this is the part of his story that took him from being just a great player to a truly unstoppable force. You see, early in his career, he got some criticism. People talked about his temper, his aggression, and his fitness. But instead of just shrugging it off, he confronted it head on. He completely reinvented himself. The raw talent, that was always there, but he learned how to channel that aggression. And maybe most importantly, he adopted this elite, world-class fitness routine. We're not just talking about hitting the gym. This was a complete overhaul. His diet, his training, everything, designed to turn that raw talent into consistent, undeniable dominance. And here's the crazy part. The impact of that personal transformation didn't just stop with him. It created a ripple effect that spread through the entire Indian team. He single-handedly set a new standard for what it meant to be a professional cricketer in India. All of a sudden, elite fitness wasn't just a nice-to-have, it was a non-negotiable. He fundamentally changed the culture of the sport in his country. This new, dialed-in mindset was the perfect foundation for what came next in his career: leadership. When he became the Test captain back in 2014, he basically injected his own personality right into the team's DNA. It was passionate, it was emotional, and it was completely, unapologetically aggressive. He demanded a fearless, in-your-face approach, especially when playing overseas, which had always been a struggle for Indian teams. And that fearless approach, it led to this moment, his single greatest achievement as a captain. In 2018, he led India to its first ever Test series victory in Australia, a huge milestone that had eluded Indian cricket for decades. So, after all the wins, the transformations, and the records, what is the lasting legacy of King Kohli? Well, of course, you've got the numbers. And the numbers are just staggering. I mean, we are talking about a literal mountain of runs, over 25,000 in international cricket, with tons of centuries in every format of the game. Statistically, he's just in a league of his own. But the numbers, as incredible as they only tell you part of the story. His true legacy, the thing that really defines him, is his mindset. It's that relentless intensity, that unshakable self-belief, and that constant burning desire to be the absolute best. That's the real story. You know, when you talk about the history of cricket, there's this pantheon of legends, the players who defined their entire era. Guys like Don Bradman, Sachin Tendulkar, Brian Lara, And based on everything we've seen, Virat Kohli has absolutely firmly earned his place right there alongside them.
At the end of the day, his is a story of how pure passion, when you combine it with unbelievable discipline, can take a determined young kid from Delhi and forge him into one of the most dominant athletes on the entire planet.
Which brings us right back to where we started, to that electric feeling in the stadium. Because after all these years, after all the trophies and all the records, whenever Virat Kohli walks out to bat, that expectation, it remains exactly the same. Something special is about to happen.